Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Spoilers, and this is The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 12, extended spoiler chat. I know Friday night we rushed a spoiler through. Everybody was like, this is super fast, but it gave them all the details they were looking for. Today I wanted to give a little bit of an extended chat because I know some people, there were just a lot of good thoughts and a lot of predictions that either we were holding on to that were disproved or things that we wanted a little bit more elaboration on. And there are a couple more videos that have surfaced between the other night and today, so I do want to kind of extend that a little bit more. I want to thank all of you guys for being here on this channel. I know a lot of people are subbed to multiple channels. This is just another part of the 999 gaming family, so we will do the countdown tonight on the gaming channel, and we will do the reaction on the gaming channel as well. So I don't want you to get musical chairs, but this madness will all make sense very, very soon. A couple of reasons I want to throw that out there is because we are adding new content, and not everybody wants to spoiler. Some people want to get involved in the predictions, so it's just a way for us to sort of streamline everything a little bit further, add a few additional warnings. Not a whole lot of spoilery stuff in the thumbnails, but every once in a while there is a title that's a little bit questionable, and I do get some people that message me saying, hey, this showed up, and I want to subscribe to you, but this showed up, and we're just trying to do a better job making sure that we can satisfy everybody. Plus, we got a lot of different topics to talk about, anywhere from Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, so we're going to be all over the place, and this is going to be a little bit longer stream as well, so we can get some of those thoughts out there. Thank you once again. Glad to see this group. I know some of you that are really, really hardcore 999 Army participants and 999 gaming fans. This is your third one. You may make all five. I'm going to have to give like some kind of medal or some kind of award for people that can last that long to get through 5 streams. So, and watch The Walking Dead and watch The Talking Dead. So we just got our Sundays completely reserved. And Mike Rowe is like loving it. Just keep them coming. Keep these videos coming. I'll be in all of them. And it's a limited time span, so we only have so much time to talk about The Walking Dead anyway. This is like our Super Bowl. This is our season. I see Sith Lord in the house made it to this stream, and there's E Beach. So word is getting around. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. So let's recap a little bit that we know. Warning: if you are logging in right now, we can just let you know this is a spoiler chat. We will be talking about spoilers. So I'm going to say it a few times during the stream because several people are going to pop in. Either they got the message a little bit late, or they just popped in because they saw a cool stream and they didn't read extended spoilers. So let me go back and say once again, I see Eddie Pizzle in the house. Eddie knows personally from this. There are spoiler sites out there. There are a couple of additional people that feed information in. The majority of these spoilers have been confirmed through Spoiling Dead Fans page. SpoilingDeadFans.com. You guys know they're out there. There's various forums. So I do want to give credit to a lot of this where credit is due. We are going to take some of the extended cuts and add some of the things that we saw and piece it together as well. So this is going to be a good mixture of a little bit of everything. So let's get right into it. A couple of things that have been confirmed, and we want to kind of respect everybody's opinion in this, is that this episode is going to be about a crazy, crazy car scene. That car chase is going to be unbelievable. So the way it sort of happens, and when we did the video the other night, is apparently we predicted that Rick may be spying on him and watching him, but we've seen a little bit more. So prior to the car chase scene, I guess we'll start with that, is we get this Rick, it is confirmed, and we did see the opening minutes. I know that was a prediction that turned into a spoiler, that Rick would have some time at Carl's grave, or that would happen at Hilltop. So that is going to happen. And those of you that have seen the Rick Daryl scene, very, very moving scene. So before Rick ever leaves to go into crazy driving Miss Daisy revenge mode, him and Daryl are going to have a moment, because that's been a topic of conversation. Is Rick going to hold the grudge against Daryl for getting involved and taking Rick's time away, and Rick had this master plan and everything else? So Daryl does go over and try to console Rick, and it's really the first time. When the thing happened with Carl, it was more like a touch on the shoulder. Rick thanks him for getting the people to Hilltop safely, and Daryl's, how do you have words for someone who just lost their son? And Daryl does go on to apologize to Rick, and I do think Crystal's like, I hope Daryl kills Dwight. Not going to happen. I think you're going to see that relationship kind of work itself out kind of in the long term. Daryl's very emotional, and I think we talked about how the scene with Carl was sad, but all the follow-up scenes to it might actually be a little bit more sad, because you see his tough guy Daryl, and we've only seen it a couple times, but one of the times we saw him with the bro hug with Rick, he apologizes for driving that truck through there and says, I just wanted to end it. I just wanted it all to be over. Rick acknowledges that Daryl's right and says, you know what? I should have been thinking more about taking care of our people. So he lets Daryl completely off the hook and says, I forgive you. And this is important because Daryl has a lot of baggage. I mean, remember, Daryl felt responsible for Glenn, and Maggie had to sort of reassure Daryl, it's not your fault. Well, now Daryl feels responsible for all this going wrong. Now Rick has to reassure Daryl that it's not his fault. See a trend happening here? I like Daryl, but Daryl can be a little bit reckless, as can Rick. So I'm going to open it up right now and see, what are your thoughts for the Rick and Daryl relationship? Do you think that it is the hatchet is 100% buried, or do you think that there's still going to be some hard feelings in the future between Rick and Daryl? And those of you that are new to our live streams, this is audience participation. This is what makes our live streams. What I like most about them is in forums especially, there's a lot of typing and back and forth, and you got to wait for someone to respond. These happen in real time, and I think that's really the joy of the 999 Army being together and opening up and talking about these things. So I think Rial, it's buried. Hippo, I know it's Mike Rose says that's his brother. Tammy Pickles says they're fine. Just want to make sure that there's just not some people thinking that there's, there you go. Well, there are. Ron Berge said there's still some bad blood. But most people are saying pretty much over at this point. And they are going to go through more stuff, which should bring the group even closer. Wilson, Rick, and Daryl still close. Deborah Mooney says they're fine. And now as a follow-up to that, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So we went through the dialogue that happens over Carl's grave. If you guys could, those of you watching the playback as well, describe this picture that's up on the screen with Daryl and Michonne. What's the feeling you get when you see this picture? I'm going to give you a few words that describe it, but this to me really sets the mood and the tone. Now, we know it's not the end, but I just want to get a couple of adjectives to sort of describe from the group. Crystal says they're ready for a fight. Ultra Groove, not a good look. Scott's like, melancholy, just kind of sad. Sadness, disappointment. Carol, sadness, Rick's leaving on his own. Maggie, grief, disbelief. So when I saw this, the first thing I thought is, Michonne has a look as if heartbreak, exactly, Beach, like, there he goes, I can't stop him, I may not see him again. Daryl, kind of, you got to let him be his own man, you got to let him go out there and do it. Daryl did say to Rick, let me go with you. And Rick says, no, we need to split up. So he knows that people are coming. And Rick wants to cut him off. Rick wants to do something, and he doesn't know that he's going to be able to get Negan alone. He doesn't know he's going to be able to hit that car. He's hopeful. But it seems like a one-way ticket that he's not going to be able to get out. Now, that look is appropriate because you may never see Rick again. Now, we know we will see Rick again, and I think as a viewer, you got to separate yourself from what's going to happen in a couple episodes to what we feel at that moment. And I do think it's important tonight's episode, I feel like can really have a lot of action. Eddie, you may bring up a good point too. I don't know. I was assuming that they buried Carl there, but you probably are correct. It's probably Glenn and Abraham's graves. But I guess maybe we'll get some confirmation for that tonight. I don't know, honestly, what has happened to Carl at this point. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. We're going to go back and scratch that. That is Glenn and Abraham's graves because Carl, they did bury Carl in the previous episode. I'm sorry, guys. I'm totally out of it. I totally misspoke there. Let me backtrack a little bit. Eddie's absolutely on point. He's kneeling over Glenn and Abraham's graves because they did have the scene where they dug it and they actually put the cross there where he put the gun and took the gun off. So, my bad. Carl is in Alexandria. When you get to like 3 or 4 streams and you got a lot of stuff going on, you have a little bit of a lapse there. So let me, yes, they are in Hilltop. So the scene that we're talking about is Rick's probably just sorting it all out, putting it all together, thinking about all the loss. So when Daryl does approach, you know, you got Glenn's death on Rick's mind now, which he probably hasn't thought about Glenn a whole lot. You got Abraham's death on his mind. Even Spencer Spencer wasn't the most popular person, but all of these people, I would imagine, Rick feels like he's got to do something for all of them. And that look of him leaving is Rick trying to do something to save the group. Got it. So as he goes out there and tries to take matters into his own hands, he kind of gets a little bit lucky, right? I mean, as far as luck could go, because he is going to get his opportunity to separate Negan from the group a little bit. Now, the one thing I don't have 100% is the picture from the car, the burning car. Can we confirm that that is Negan's car, or is that another car? I just saw a little bit of the image, and someone says it looked like it had more of a white tint to it. I don't know, maybe the car flipped a couple times. It is a different car. Donnie says it's Negan's car. Someone else said it looked like... Yeah, I thought it was Negan's car too, because I thought that's where they had the scene. I couldn't see enough of it to make out whether it was kind of burning. It does look a little bit different, but regardless, maybe there's a couple cars that gets flipped over. I think it's Negan's car because I think it's an older car. Who knows if that car would even catch on fire? It's probably been stripped of all of its gasoline if it was another car. So I think it is Negan's car. Eddie's exactly right. Lucille does catch on fire. So they do see some of the blood. I think the blood they see is that bucket of blood, the bucket of Walker guts. Now, whether they remember that Negan had a bucket of guts or whether they just think it's Negan, but apparently they are going to feel like Negan is either severely injured or dead. It's my boat is like, poor Lucille. Everybody's more worried about Lucille. But apparently we're not going to get any death tonight. Simon is very confused, I guess. Is Simon happy? So let me kind of pile this onto the spoiler because it is extended chat. And before we do that, I do want to say a couple things. Number one, as I mentioned, I know a lot of people are typing comments. I'm going to try to get as many as we can. Super Chat should be enacted on this channel within a couple days. Once again, we started ramping up streaming again, so it will take a couple days to get this thing going. I know I got a lot of people that are in here that normally post those. You will be able to Super Chat on the 999 Gaming channel tonight and also in the reactions video. So I'm going to try to get as many comments. I know usually with Super Chat it kind of freezes their comments, and we definitely talk about what you want to talk about. And I can't get to everybody, but I am going to jump around and read as much of your comments and as much of your insight and participation. So I do want to thank you for being here. We're not done yet, but we're going to continue the stream. But just in case it comes up on these two channels, 999 Dead and 999 Spoilers, the Super Chats will be up within a couple of days. Everything is good to go on the 999 Gaming chat. So let me transition to Simon. Is Simon relieved that Negan could be dead, or determined to take out his revenge? Because we see Simon. Simon's already confronted Negan. Simon has disobeyed Negan. Simon has hinted in the truck with Dwight. And now Simon sort of turns to the side outside of, and has a smirk on his face. Travis says Simon's afraid Negan will find out. Riali seems happy about it. I think he's relieved. Simon's seriously evil. Mambo55. Donnie Blair says Simon is glad. He thinks Negan is dead, and now Simon can run the show. Crystal says he's happy that Simon can take over. Absolutely. Bumblebee. Simon can run things his own way. So that does go into the next spoiler. And what's interesting is Dwight has still not made a move. Emmy says Simon sees his opening to take over. So now Dwight, Simon take over. So now Dwight is in this tough situation of, do I make my move now? Do I wait to see what's going on? I think that's going to be important in future episodes. So Simon is ready to go to the Hilltop. He says, we're going to go up there, we're going to expunge all of these people. So he's ready just to get rid of the Hilltop and move on to the next place that they can conquer. But Dwight does not go out of his way to stop that from happening. Sorry, just a little bit of silence there. I'm catching up on a couple of the couple notes and also some of the chat because I want to go through the spoilers. I don't know how much of the Hilltop we're going to see tonight, if any. I've got a strong suspicion that they won't make it up to the Hilltop, and if they do, it's going to be at the very, very end because it looks like the Hilltop is preparing. And I do know they're preparing to have lookouts, and I think that'd be not a cliffhanger, but just a kind of wait till next week moment, mini cliffhanger, I guess we could call it. So whether it's going to be this new group that's introduced or whether we're going to see Simon and Dwight actually making it up the hill to the Hilltop to get there, that remains to be seen. I got more of a feeling that next week, episode 13, is going to be the showdown at the Hilltop. I think that's where a lot of stuff is just really going to hit hard. Sandra Reffett says, Dwight should have killed Simon and Negan when he had the chance. Yeah, I think that's what's tough about the situation right now. So let me ask the group, why would Dwight not make a move? Do you think that... Sorry, I'm catching up with some things. Do you think that Dwight is waiting to see what the other saviors do? Crystal, that's a powerful statement. If Dwight doesn't die, I riot. Maggie says, waiting to see if Negan is dead. Rot and Lauren could kill him. It's My Boat says there isn't anything he can do at this point. Well, I mean, he is right there with Simon, and Simon's got a pretty big gun. Waiting for the right time. Let's see, Carol says to be able to watch and see what happens. Maybe like Eugene, waiting for that right moment. Oh, good point. Wilson says he's in limbo at the moment and not really a part of Rick's group. I guess, you know what? I think you just hit it right there. I think that's the part that we overlook. Dwight wants to be a part of Rick's group, but they don't want him to be a part of the group right now. So as viewers, we're getting a little confused thinking, yeah, Dwight's going to come back, he's going to help. But right now, he's got to stay alive. He still wants Negan dead. Waiting to see where the grass is greener. All right, so let me ask the group this. Put yourself in Dwight's situation. And I want to hear, if you were Dwight and you're not welcome in Rick's group, you hate the Saviors, and you want to kill Negan, type right now, what's your big move? What are you going to do to make a difference? Because Dwight just gets a lot of flack. I think it's unfair. And Daryl wants to kill Dwight. It's a good point, Deborah. And Tara apparently wanted to kill Dwight. Dwight wasn't there when Tara was sort of letting him off the hook a little bit. Renee says Dwight has to pick his moments because he has to be sure someone will help him. Tegan says go rogue. Make sure Negan is dead first. Ron says sabotage the Savior's weapons. Yeah, the problem with Dwight is his only move at this point could be to go off on his own. He really wanted to be a part of Rick's group. Or, there you go, Eddie says try to find a way to pit Negan and Simon against each other. If Dwight were to kill Negan, Simon may like it, but he would still have to do something to Dwight to prove to the group that he was the leader. So he doesn't get anywhere with that. And Dwight wants to find Sherry. Absolutely. Well, Dwight's story arc and what Dwight's going to do the next couple of things are probably really, really different. Because ultimately I do feel like Dwight and Daryl are going to be that group that's going to go out and find Sherry, dead or alive. But what he's going to do next couple episodes is not much, because he can't do anything. So remember all the people who hated Eugene because they said Eugene was Team Negan? Well, Eugene was captured. Now, he could have left with Sasha and Rosita, but he was captured. So he didn't initially go there on his own. Well, Dwight's sort of handcuffed to a certain degree as well. All right, we're going to get to a couple more spoilers. So, how about the new group? I mean, I think that's... I don't know what I'm more excited. You know what, before I even answer, what are you more excited about? Are you more excited to see clues from the new group? Are you more excited to see this Rick and Negan standoff? Or are you more excited to see Simon's demise? Maybe mental demise, because Simon looks like he's definitely losing it. This group just really, the timing of it seems bizarre. Chosen One says Rick versus Negan. Michelle's like all of it. I do think this is going to be one of the better episodes. I hope I don't hype it up too much. Oh, you know what, Wilson? That's going to get you like a positive star with Steph. If you mention ELO, you're getting points. Walking Dead Nerd says the standoff. Well, I want to see how or whether or not Rick gets injured tonight. I think that's part of the curiosity is like, you know, the general things that are going to happen, but is Rick, is that wound going to come tonight? Or is that going to be some torture? So Dixie says, what's killing the show is too much dialogue and no action. I could agree. Because I do think that that's what they're going to do right in Fear, is there's going to be a lot more action this year. I don't know that I will like Fear more than Walking Dead, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. Good point. Brene says Rick always gets injured. Always the hand. Yep. Well, you know, people want his hand chopped off, so I guess the hand injury is close enough. Good point. Sanders says Rick can only kill Wilson walkers. Yeah, I have a feeling the injury is going to be that whole second lineup. And it'll probably be the Wrath scene where Rick and Negan have their last standoff. Hey, Mambo, you're good. That is what we're looking forward to. We're definitely looking forward to the Jared death later on. We're going to be cheering that one. You're not a criminal, Mambo. You're good, man. That's funny. It's what happens. You know what? A moderator times you out for 5 minutes, you feel like a criminal. Even if it's an accident. So a little bit of recap, and then we'll try to fill in a couple of the holes. Yeah, as we talked about, once again, warning, if you're tuning in late, I'm going to go over just the general spoilers. So we know that Rick is looking over Glenn and Abraham's graves, has a conversation with Daryl. All seems to be forgiven. Rick leaves. You can see the look on Michonne and Daryl's face. Maybe they won't see him again. Rick has been listening in on the radio, so he knows Negan's in his car. He hits his car. Then we get just a great chase scene. We get Rick and Negan with a battle, and then Simon and Dwight And there's also, obviously, the talking scenes between Simon and Dwight, so there will be some dialogue there. But then Simon makes the move to head up to Hilltop. Negan will escape. He will save Lucille. Lucille catches on fire. So all these things, those are the knowns. And we also know there's another group. The unknowns are the time frame of some of these. How much will we see? Will we see the new group being introduced? Will we see characters such as Ezekiel? Travis says, what about Oceanside? So no, but I need to ask this question. Where is Ezekiel? What is going on with Ezekiel right now? I need your best thoughts, your best predictions on the king. No clue. Looking for a new tiger. he's out trying to tame. Exactly. Where is the king? Well, we got a war going on at Hilltop, and I think the king needs to come out and be a part of that. I thought he had his mojo back. And so we covered most of the spoilers. It's a little bit extended, but I do want to ask the question I think Eddie brought up a little bit ago. Who do you think kills Jared? You think it'll be Henry? I think it's going to be Morgan. Mag says that she thinks Morgan will leave because Henry finds out and they lied. I think Morgan's going to kill Jared, but I'm going to agree with some of the comic book fans from the earlier stream today. Mag, we can agree to disagree. I do think Morgan is taking the time skip. I think he's taking the Michonne role because Rick won't kill Negan. I think Morgan will do it I think Henry's going to grow up thinking that it was Gavin and he did it. I think Morgan's going to do it just to bring closure to it, both for Morgan and also he's going to do it for Henry. Just my feeling. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but just throwing it out there. So we talked about the knowns and the unknowns tonight. So one of the things that I want to ask the group is we do know the blue paint. We do know that Rick knows all the scavengers were dead. I hinted, I don't have this confirmed, but I hinted that Rick and Negan will have some dialogue tonight. And you know they're going to have a little bit. My people, they're coming. It's already too late. We know that. But I think there's going to be a little bit of extended dialogue. You guys can agree or disagree, but I want to see what you think about this. Will Rick indirectly tell Negan about all the scavengers being killed? Will he bring it up like, yeah, you keep saying people's a resource. You killed all the scavengers. Will that come out tonight? Because if that comes out, that is the death of Simon, in my opinion. Some people are saying, hopefully. I mean, wouldn't that be good writing if it did come out? That would be, I would love to write that into the script. Because I don't think you can just come out and say it like, hey, Negan, guess what your man did? He killed a whole bunch of people. No, it ain't going to come out like that. It's going to have to be like Negan trying that negotiating thing, like that Weasley thing he does. Rick, you brought this on yourself. You got all those people killed. No. People aren't a resource. I've seen what you do to people. You killed all of them. killed all Ezekiel's men. You killed all the scavengers. Now you're going to kill all the people at Hilltop. At that point, Negan, he processes, right? He's going to be, what does he mean all the scavengers were killed? I knew about the ambush of the kingdom, but I thought we were just making one example. So I think that would be great. And see, judging by all of you, you think it would be great too. So hopefully they get that part in there. We don't know that. That's not confirmed, but I just think it would be a cool thing to sort of add to it. And also tonight is with a new group who's led by Georgie. Michonne, Maggie, and Enid are supposedly looking for this group. So I do think Enid is going to take on a different role. Enid's kind of been in the background quite a bit, so I think tonight we'll be really starting to see her step up and want to do more, a bigger fighting role. Everybody can't be at the front of the line and just lead the charge or the war. But the fact that she lost Carl, I think, is going to be big. There's several, though, that I think are really... Sadiq is another one that I think his story is so tied to Carl that you're going to see a good future out of them. And we're going to open it up. Yep, that's good. That's good, Eddie. Eddie says, why don't you just let me save you, Rick? You mean like Jade? That would be perfect. So they got to find a way to get that out there. I just think it's a prime opportunity. And if it happens tonight, then we're going to be talking about Simon's future. If it doesn't happen and it happens a little bit later on, it's going to be tough, I think, to get that sort of into the works. But the writer said, or I'm sorry, the producer said that this season is about everybody lack of trust. For a while it was Daryl not trusting Rick, or Rick not trusting Daryl, both, because the way Daryl handles on business. Dwight and nobody trusting Dwight. Negan and Simon, there's a rift there. So there's just a lot of people looking over each other's shoulder, like who's going to make the next bad move. And we've got a lot more stuff to talk about. So I am going to wind the stream down, but before I do, I just want to make a couple of announcements just to let you guys know kind of what's going on with some of the streams. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we will be back on the 999 Gaming channel. It's going to be 30 minutes. I'll keep it at 30 minutes. We're going to do kind of our, everybody's eating dinner, hanging out, our last little bit of details to go into the episode. So this was a pretty complete spoiler. I think we covered everything that's going to happen and then a few other things that potentially could happen. These are my favorite. We really kind of break it down. It's like we know what we know, but then there's a few things that are going to surprise. And we talk about the reactions later on after Talking Dead. I always like to ask the question, like, what surprised you the most from this episode that you thought you knew? And I think that's really how it plays out. We do the recaps. So if you're not familiar with 999 Gaming, 999 Spoilers, 999 Dead, on Mondays we'll do full recap of the show. Tuesday we'll pick a topic from the show. Wednesday, another topic. Thursday we usually get into the spoilers. We'll have some breaking news as well. And then on Sundays we've got the Walking Dead Junkies. We are going to put some of these streams on 999 Dead, so just stay tuned to all three of those channels. We're going to go back through some old topics and then past, present, and future. Then we'll get our countdown going, and also 999 Spoilers for extended looks as well. So after The Walking Dead tonight, we will be on 999 Gaming as well. More people are just familiar with that at this point, but I do want to start to streamline and get different people in different areas. So the extended spoilers, we'll probably do a quick spoiler during the week on the gaming channel, but the extended spoilers where we really break it down and go will be on this channel in the future, because not everybody wants to get into all the whys and the hows, but there'll be a lot of, during the week you're pretty safe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because it's going to be a lot of recaps and a lot of predictions. And I think that's the fun, is some people just want to predict. Some people want to predict and know the spoilers, and some people want to predict and then react to it. So we got a little bit for everybody. Appreciate all of you guys being here. I know there were some epic screw-ups in some of the streams, but I appreciate, and that's why I love you guys keeping me on path. The Graves. Thank you so much for that, Eddie and a couple of you get so far into it sometimes. Also do want to give a special shout out to, you guys can see the Patreons listed over on the left to support the channel. Maggie is a brand new Patreon. I saw that a little bit ago. I'll get that updated. But thank you so much to all the past Patreons and also the brand new ones as well. Maggie's been a longtime supporter of the channel and is officially supporting us now as well. And all the people that are here every day making the comments. Of course, the super chatters. I'm sorry you couldn't super chat in the stream. You will be able to super chat later on. Within a couple days, all the streams will have those live. And you'll be able to kind of freeze your comments and talk about them. But even if you're not making a financial donation to the channel, the fact that you're here and involved and in the chat means the world to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate just all the involvement, all the interaction. And hey, I know you're members of other streams and other forums and all those things, but also join up with our Walking Dead 999 Army. There's no spoilers posted on that Facebook page. There's predictions and there's links and other stuff, so it's okay. You can jump on there. A lot of memes and just a lot of good friendly conversations. It's a great family, great group. So thank you so much. I'm going to catch up on shout-outs a little bit later because the stream has ran a little bit over. So I will see all of you hopefully at 8 o'clock tonight for the Walking Dead Countdown. That will be on the 999 Gaming channel. If you're watching the playback, make sure that you like and subscribe. 999 Gaming, 999 Spoilers, and 999 Dead, a brand new channel. I will talk to you all soon. Peace.